Hi guys, 18 Dap here and welcome to the latest match day preview for this weekend's fixture in League 2. It's Doncaster Rovers versus Morecambe at the Eco Power Stadium. Let's get the video started. So guys, welcome to the latest match day preview, Doncaster Rovers versus Morecambe. It feels great to be back after having a week off for not feeling too well. Still got a little bit of a cough, so do bear with me if that ends up jumping back in every now and then, as it still does at the minute. But we are catching up this weekend. If you've not seen already, the League 2 deep dive got uploaded at 8 o'clock this morning. Now we've got the match preview. Tomorrow morning we've got the League 1 deep dive, the match day vlog from this fixture. Sunday morning we have got the Championship deep dive, and then Sunday evening we've got the 72 review, looking at all the fixtures across the three divisions this weekend. So if you are an existing subscriber, thank you so much for sticking with us while I've been ill, and thank you so much for supporting the channel continually as well. If this video has brought you to the channel and you like the sound of all that content coming this weekend and you want to see more or get to know the channel a little bit more, please consider clicking subscribe so you don't miss any of that content. And if you are new, this is the format that we'll go through match previews, look at previous meetings between the two clubs, current form across all competitions. I say a few words about a Doncaster Rovers player, and then I give my opinion on the one to watch for Morecambe in this one. But as I always say, you know your club much better than what I do, so if there's somebody else we should be looking out for, get them in the comments down below. And then we've got three predictions to round the video off. Predicted team lineup thanks to FanHub. If you've not downloaded that app yet, please go ahead and do so. It is an absolutely banging app where you get rewarded for following your team. We do the predictions league table for me and the family, and then the all important score prediction at the very end. So without further ado, let's get into previous meetings. Donny and Morecambe not faced off too much in our history, only 9 times that I can find. If anybody knows of any more, please get it in the comments down below. I do like to learn more as I'm creating content, and I'm not perfect, but from what I can find, Rovers have won 2 of those 9 meetings, have drawn 3 and lost 4, so Morecambe have got the better of us on a lot of the meetings in our history. Looking back at the more recent 5, I say more recent, we have to go back to 2003 in the conference where Rovers got beat 3-0 away from home, but the last 4 games in the league we've fared slightly better with 2 wins and a draw and 1 defeat. So the 16-17 season in League 2, it was a 5-1 away win and then a 1-1 draw. And then in the League 1 season 2021-22, where it was dreadful for Donny, we got relegated, but we did get a home win 1-0. But I think the game which put the nail in the coffin for me that season, we were 3-0 up at Morecambe and we got beat 4-3 on the day. So yeah, ended up ruining the missed opportunity there of getting points. So a little bit of revenge hopefully in tomorrow's fixture. But yeah, over the last 5 we've both won 2, we've drawn, both lost 2. It's difficult to call, it always is. Current form though does kind of lean towards Donny in this one. It's inconsistent though. We have lost 1 and drawn. Morecambe on the other hand, 3 defeats, a win and then a draw coming into this one. Donny, we were dumped out of the FA Cup since we last spoke after a valiant effort against League 1 top scorers, and they are free scoring in Peterborough, but we only lost out 2-1, and we gave a good account of ourselves in my opinion on the day, but that was followed up with progression in the Bristol Street Motors Trophy, a good 3-0 win over Nottingham Forest under 21s, and then for me, in my personal opinion, a great point at Accrington. I think that is our first point at Accrington in the league, so horrid conditions, but for me it's showing progress, it's showing steps in the right direction that we managed to keep a clean sheet in difficult conditions at a ground which is normally a bit of a bogey ground for us. For me though, January is huge, coming up for Donny and Grant McCann. Injuries still plaguing us this season, and I think the season's far from over, so January could be a good opportunity to kind of bring in backups, more recruits to help us push on. But I think we're probably spent up in summer. We will see what January brings. But Donny currently sitting 17th, only 7 points away from the playoffs, so it will show the ambition of the board if we bring additions in or not in January. I hope we do, because I think we're not a million miles away from clicking and going on a decent run. For Morecambe though, it's a bit of a tough one to call this season so far. There's still questions off field over the ownership. The club's been up for sale since September 2022, and the potential new owner was in attendance against Stockport last weekend. So yeah, question marks over the ownership at the minute. That could be starting to roll as we speak. But for Morecambe, not too bad a start to League Two, life back in League Two. But they do come into this fixture with the joint worst form in the league, with 4 defeats and a draw in their last 5. Colchester, the only other team with that same run of form, but theirs is a draw and then 4 defeats. So yeah, not in great form coming into this one, but we should not underestimate Morecambe in this one, because the draw that they've got in their last 5 did come against table toppers Stockport, and they also beat League One opposition in Wycombe in the FA Cup second round. So certainly not to be underestimated, although the form says that Rovers should come out of this one on top. On to play profile. So for this one I have gone with George Miller, 25 years old striker, and unfortunately it doesn't sound like we're going to see George for the rest of the season. Absolutely gutting to hear that he could be out for the rest of the season. Injuries have hammered us this season across the full squad, and for previous seasons as well. It just seems like it's just absolutely relentless in terms of the injuries that Donny are getting over the last couple of seasons. So for me, it does bring up questions as to why. We've had different coaching staff, different players, but it seems to be the same outcome every season at the minute, and it's frustrating because we've got a decent squad that's got a decent bit of depth, but we just can't use them because they're on the treatment table. George does have another year left on his deal, so hopefully we can get him back fit, and that's the main thing, getting these players back healthy and fit and playing without pushing them too soon, so that we get a reoccurrence of that injury. But if this news is true, I go back to talking about January. It's going to be massive because we've only got Mo Farl and Joe Ironside really who can do anything up top, so we do need extra additions in there up front to give us extra options. But so gutting to not see Miller out on the pitch, because from what I saw of him last season, I think he got 13 goals in a very, very poor Donny team. I think he'd be bagging for fun this season. We're much better. So yeah, very, very frustrating, absolutely gutting that we're potentially not seeing George all season. On to the one to watch for Morecambe. As I said at the start of the video, if you think somebody else should be included in this slide, please get them in the comments down below. But I've gone with Michael Mellon, 20 years old, centre forward, 62 appearances in his career so far, which is decent at the age that he is. 31 goals and 6 assists, but this season he's showing the quality that he's got with 13 goals and 2 assists, and he's pretty much carrying Morecambe in terms of goal scoring, and he's winning them points. So for me, I think you keep Mellon quiet and you've got a really good opportunity to come away with a point, if not all 3. So for me, the one to watch, Michael Mellon, currently on loan from Burnley. Who knows, they may recall him in January, but unfortunately he's still here, so at this point, so we need to watch out for him tomorrow, in my personal opinion. Moving on to the predicted team lineup. So as I said at the start of the video, this is thanks to FanHub. If you've not downloaded the app yet, please go ahead and do so. I will be posting a golden ticket code so that you can jump the queue and get straight into the app and get predicting your team lineups and getting rewarded for following your team. And for me, I've gone with this lineup to hopefully get the 3 points against Morecambe tomorrow. I've gone with Louis Jones in goal, a back 5 of Nixon, Oluwu, Anderson, Bailey and Senior, with Nixon and Senior as wing back, so they can push forward into the midfield if we're on the attack, with Biggins close in the centre of the park. I'd like to see Molyneux played in that pocket between the midfield and the strikers rather than on the wing. I think having him kind of in that space could really cause problems for the Morecambe defence with Farl and Ironside up front. I'm unsure if that will be the starting 11, but that's my predicted starting 11. I think maybe Molyneux swapped out for Rowe or moved into Senior's position. It swaps and changes, but that's what I'm going with for this one tomorrow. onto the predictions league table. So if you're new to this, me and the family predict the scoreline for every single league game. If we get it spot on, we get 3 points. If we get the outcome of the game right but not the scoreline, we get 1 point. If we get it completely wrong, we get no points. And I'm doing all right at the minute. I predicted the correct outcome but not the scorelines for the last 2 games. Max got a scoreline spot on, so it has moved the table around. Max pulls up to second on 11 points, Chris on third on 10, Dad still bottom on 7, yet to get to double figures. But I have got a healthy gap of 5 points at the top on 16 points, so hopefully that gap remains as 5 points, or I extend it with this prediction. And that takes me on to my score predictions. So as I say, every game in League 2 is tough to call. The form to me points in Donny's direction. Our home form is very good. Morecambe's form coming is this one, joint worst in the league. So lump your money on a Morecambe win. But for me, this one, I've got to predict. I always predict with my head and not my heart, and it's all pointing towards a Donny win. So I'm going to back the lads, as you always do. You've got to back your team. I'm going with a 3-1 win for the Rovers. Farl, Ironside, Molyneux scorers. Maybe lump some money on that as well. But that's where I'm going to leave this video. If you've enjoyed it, please stick a big thumbs up on it for us. Comments in the section down below. Please head on to the channel, subscribe, and check out the 72 review deep dives over this weekend, and join us on Sunday for the live stream. It's great to be back, and all I can do is say thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.